Hey guys, it's Hans Hobbies, and this is a first impressions and kind of an unboxing video of my new Losi Mini T 2.0. So this is a vehicle that's been out for a little bit now. I know a lot of people have experienced this thing, both the original Mini T and this new 2.0 version. Um, and this is my first time messing with either version, so I'm pretty excited to really get into this thing. For those of you who don't know, this is a two-wheel drive 1/18th scale stadium truck. Based on it's like a miniature version of their TLR or Team Losi Racing two-wheel drive stadium truck. So based on pretty good geometry there and pretty good racing pedigree, I would say, mechanically anyway. But before we get into the truck, let's see what comes in the box. I won't actually show you the box because um, there's no real point to it. I don't think because um, people don't really. I don't think people really care about the box art or anything like that. Tell me if I'm wrong. It's a little bit different with Tamiya stuff, but anyway. You get this LiPo charger, USB charger. It seems to work fine. For now, I have to use this thing. When you plug it in, it'll like flash green and red, and then when you plug in your battery, it'll turn solid red, and then when it's done charging, it'll turn a solid green. So pretty basic charger. Only uses the balance port to charge the whole battery. So I have to use this at the moment because it won't actually work with my nicer LiPo charger, but I will get into why in a second. You get this little radio. This is a kind of a generic radio. Some other brands also use this. I think the Element Enduro 24 also uses these. Some other mini vehicles also use this. It's actually a pretty decent radio for a mini radio. It's pretty small, but the controls seem like they're really good and they're really responsive and feel pretty nice. The foam grip is also very nice. There's actually a caliper detail molded into this wheel here, but it moves with the wheel, so that's kind of funny. And I would rather if they didn't have that there, but whatever. All your controls, it's all digitally controlled, so naturally it means it will have a speaker in here. So when you turn it on, it'll beep, and any sort of adjustment you make, it will beep. So there you go. It does, yeah. It has a reversing button. We'll have to dig into the instructions to see how that works. There's also a third channel button, but that's not really used on this vehicle. And what's interesting about this radio is you don't see a battery cover down here, and that's because there's a release in the back, and then you actually slide the controller apart, and that's really nice for so your batteries don't discharge, or your alkaline batteries don't like go bad while they're in the little case. And it's also easier to like pack in the backpack or something like that, and like this. And the batteries are in here. It's a little cover, and it actually uses 4 AAA batteries, which are included in the box, so that's very nice. It seems like most of the lower priced Horizon Hobby products are including batteries for the controller nowadays, so that's very nice. But it just slides in very nicely, and it just turns on. Pretty nice radio, also really good for one-hand driving, so I'm really happy with this radio. I don't really see a reason to change it out. We get a tool bag in here. We get just a wheel nut wrench, a Allen wrench, and a bind plug. And this is actually a special bind plug to work with the 2-in-1 receiver ESC combo that's in there. And then your paperwork, it's got your instruction manual in here. You want to read through that, make sure you understand everything that the manufacturer wants you to know. And then also included is this little sheet showing you all the different upgrade parts you can get for it. There is a brushless system for it, which interestingly is a 2-in-1 motor and ESC combo. So the connector actually comes straight out of the motor, so that's pretty interesting. Radio system, your tool set, a lot of aluminum upgrades for this thing. That's very cool. I might check out some of these actually. So a lot of options for this. Horizon Hobby is really taking this Mini T very seriously. And if you guys don't know, at the time of this video, there's also a Mini B, which is the buggy version. That one's a little bit longer, but basically based on the same thing. And then there's also a Mini T brushless edition. and as well as the anniversary edition, which is now discontinued as they've sold out of all the anniversary limited edition ones. But finally, getting into the truck, it's a very nice looking truck, very racy looking truck. Looks just like the larger counterpart. The paint scheme looks very nice. It is available also in a red one and a gray one. Basically, all the paint schemes are the same. The only thing that's different is the back half here is either blue, red, or gray. So that's basically the only difference. The As far as the wheels go, all the brushed versions come with the yellow wheels. You will be able to get some white wheels with some of the other versions, but for this one, you only get these yellow wheels, which look fine, I think. And then the tires are kind of like a clay or carpet kind of tread there, kind of a race car looking tread. And the tires themselves are actually pretty soft, and the foam inserts in them are very nice. So these seem like they're pretty good tires. I don't really see a reason to upgrade the tires unless you're going to be. And honestly, also there isn't a lot of tire options for this anyway. So you get this one, and then you can get a Proline one, and I think J Concepts has a couple. But the stock tires for most people, I think, is going to be plenty. The body is made out of pretty thick Lexan or polycarbonate, so that's very nice. I love the really aggressive large spoiler on the back. And generally, I'm not a big fan of the modern, like 2020-ish race car stadium truck body styles. I much prefer the older 90s style, but it does look pretty sleek, and it does look like it works pretty well. Only thing to note is because it is a race, it's based on a race car, there is no bumpers for this. The only bumper you get is this tiny, tiny one in the front here, and then this tiny, tiny one in the back. So if you don't plan on racing this, and you plan on mostly just bashing this or just driving it around or something like that, which I think most people are going to be doing with their Mini T, I would suggest you get a front bumper for it. Unfortunately, a lot of the front bumpers you can get for it, I think T-Bone Racing has one, but I'm not a big fan of the way that one looks. So maybe I'll try to 3D print something for the front of this. I would really prefer to have a bumper, so that's just a personal thing. The shocks on it feel very nice. There's a little bit of oil, a little bit of air in it towards the top on some of the shocks, but it's not too bad. And the shocks seem like they're tuned pretty well out of the box. So there's no preload clips or anything that come with it because it is actually a threaded body shock. But I'll show you that once I take the body off. The body comes off with these typical like Horizon Hobby tiny mini body clips they tend to use. And the thing I like about these body clips is they actually have a left and a right. You can see they're bent up, so they're easier to grab, but they're bent up in a way where the clips are actually symmetrical like this. And that just makes me really happy that they went into the detail of that. A lot of the Horizon Hobby cars that use those body clips are done like that. But yeah, very nice looking body. Underneath here, it's aluminum chassis, just like the big one. And the suspension arms look pretty thin, but there's a lot of webbing in it, and the car is pretty light, so I don't really suspect these to break very easily. And even if they do, I don't think it's going to be a huge deal to replace. It does look like one of my shocks is leaking a bit of oil there. You can see the reflection, so I will have to check out that. It's actually leaking quite a bit of oil actually, so I might have to tear that one down and rebuild it. But you can see threaded body shocks. They are all plastic though, as you would expect. Everything on this is basically plastic except for the aluminum chassis. The drive shafts they feel like metal. They may be metal. Yeah, the drive shafts are metal, but you can see they are just the dog bone style. Again, that's not a huge deal for a mini car like this. The antenna is sticking out through the back like this. But yeah, overall very nice looking chassis. A lot of adjustability as the race car would have. You can see the servo right there. It's a pretty large servo as far as mini cars go. The motor is a typical 380, 280 size, 280. So it's just slightly smaller. It's 280 size brush motor. It does get it up and running pretty well. The transmission is mid-mounted, so That allows the truck to have a little sharper handling around the corners and such. This is the 2-in-1 ESC receiver combo. Not a fan of those, but this one does seem like it works well. And this is why it has that special bind plug, is because the bind section is right there. You can put nickel metal batteries in this. It comes with a LiPo, but you can set up for nickel metal. You just have to swap this jumper. As for the battery, it does use EC2 connectors, which I'm not a fan of that. I wish it just came with EC3s, because that would make batteries a lot easier and charging setups a lot easier. So I'll probably have to switch these over to EC3. And also another thing I'm not a big fan of is how proprietary the battery is. The battery tray does come up pretty easily, and then the battery comes out nice and easy like this. But it is a hard case LiPo, and it's proprietary because it has these notches in here to fit into the notches in the chassis. A little bit proprietary. Other batteries will fit in here. It might slide around a bit. You might need a couple spacers, but the stock battery is a bit proprietary, so I'm not a big fan of that, but happy that they do include a LiPo battery. And it is kind of like a race car style side saddle like that. So overall, it looks like a pretty good truck. I'm gonna plug it in and just show you how it operates real quick. The servo is actually really responsive. I'll show you the steering wheel here. Oh, I didn't turn the car on. There we go. Unlike a lot of Horizon Hobby products, this one actually doesn't make a noise when you turn it on. You have to look for the light, but you can see the response to the servo is almost instantaneous, so that's pretty amazing. I'm a big fan of that. Especially for such a small car, which will be really zippy. A lot of these mini cars tend to come with really slow servos, so I'm really happy it comes with a really responsive and fast servo. The motor also on the back. It's plenty of power for what you need. The tires won't let you drive very quickly on tile or anything like that, but if you have a little bit more of a porous surface like carpet or concrete or something, it will grip pretty well, and it's actually pretty zippy. But I will have to cut this video short here because I have a lot of other videos to film and edit. So thank you guys for watching this one. If you guys want to see the full review of this, stay tuned for that. And for running videos and all that, stay tuned for all that. That's all coming very soon. And if you are watching this at a later date, check out my channel to see if those videos are out. This is gonna bother me, but yep. So as always, give me a like, subscribe, comment down below, all that good YouTube shenanigans, and I will see you guys next time.